There was a woman about a year ago who called me in distress, shrieking, crying over the phone. And she said she'd been advised to call me by a business coach. She was in a professional job, one of the top in the country in what she was doing. And she said she just didn't fit in. She didn't know what was going on. When I say top in the country, I mean one of the top 3. She was 7 years into the career after 9 years of studying. And she said her family was just against her. She must just bite fuss and hang on. And I said to her, come and see me. I could hear she was in such distress, and I knew staying where she isn't going to help. So baiting fuss isn't the thing to do.
Welcome to Meet My Business, the podcast where real businesses tell their real stories. Joining me today is Nicci du Toit.
So tell me what you do in one... No, not what you do. Tell me who you are as a person in one sentence.
Who I am as a person is a deep listener. I'm able to listen to what people don't say. I can see and hear what irks them without them knowing. And then I can ask them questions around it.
So what does a typical day look like in your life?
I have a lot of conversations, either telephonically, via Zoom or in person, where people ask me about what is their next step. I also work with, translates basically to end of life, mortality. I'm bringing it in because it all relates to life is really short. It's very short. And if you're not in alignment with what it is that you do or where you spend your time, you're wasting it. And there's an uneasy hum just below your diaphragm that continues ongoing, 3 o'clock in the morning, if you don't look at what is it in your life that is either for you or not for you.
How did you get to do what you do? Tell me that journey.
I never knew what I wanted to do from school. I just didn't. So I did 1,000 things. I studied. I wanted to be a mediator, and then I did that. I had a restaurant of my own. So I did so many things, but I found that if whatever I was doing, if it didn't feel good, it didn't ring true, if it didn't feel in alignment with who I was as a person, my values, things that are important, if it didn't feel good, it was soul destroying. And I decided that's what I need to help other people with.
So what problem were you seeing that nobody else was solving?
I did training, adult training for FET colleges over about a 10-year period. And many of the grown-ups who came into different trainings at different times hated their lives. If not hated, it was just mediocre. They didn't want to go to work. Absenteeism was high. So I started asking questions, and I discovered that many of them were either in relationships, marriage, or they ended up in jobs that they didn't like, or in professions, or in spaces where they lived.
Early days, when you just started doing this, what was that like?
It was flippin' difficult. I couldn't describe what I was doing to someone. It felt really, if somebody had asked me, so what is it that you do? I would stumble and fumble and think, just come and sit with me and we'll have a conversation. But I couldn't explain it. It was really hard. It was really hard because I haven't found someone else that does exactly this.
So was there a moment where you thought, to hell with it, I'm going to give this up and do something else?
Yes, of course. Hundreds of moments like that. Hundreds of moments.
So what happened?
Well, I had the one specific lady who came and saw me. And it kind of, the way that it changed, that she was changed afterwards, that made me decide if it's only for that person, then I'm going to stick it out. There must be another one like her.
So is that what kept you going when things were difficult, or was there something else that motivated you?
No, that's what kept me going. That's what kept me going. Plus the fact that I saw when people get towards the end of their life, or people who got sick, have so many regrets. And this is linked to that. So if you're in alignment with who you are and what is important to you, your regrets are less.
And if you could give yourself advice, the self that started this business many years ago, what was the one thing you would have liked to have known then that you know now?
I would have liked to know that if I had planned better, it would have been quicker. Because I was struggling with knowing or not being able to explain or articulate it, I didn't plan as well as what I could have and should have. I would have maybe seen a business coach for that. Yeah.
So a lot of people say, I'm an expert at what I do, but when I started a business, I knew nothing about the business side of it. What part of the business aspect of your business surprised you the most?
What surprised me the most, literally, was the actual planning on paper and forecasting, and then marketing. Marketing and sales go hand in hand, although they're separate, but it's necessary for any business. And the way that I was doing marketing was probably not as efficient as what it could have been.
So imagine that I know nothing about what you do.
Mm.
Explain to me what you do, please.
So I spend time with people and listening to what they don't say. And however that may sound strange, if I have to give it a name, it is a clarity coach. But that relates to whether a person is where they're at in their life right at the moment, or whether they're sick or towards the end of their life, is what is in front of me. What exactly is in front of me? When people are in the frame, they can't see the picture. So the blind spots are the things that we miss. And I'm able to see that. So if you and I have a long enough conversation, I bet you I can show you a couple of blind spots that you might not see.
And you have already shown me a few of those in some of the sessions we've had. What do clients say to you that tells you that you got it right?
The one lady said to me, she's the age of 70. I worked with her 2 months ago. She said to me her entire life has changed with the way that we had worked and the clarity that she's received and the calmness and peace that she now has over her life. I can give you a whole lot of those.
Yeah,
Let me say that
one.
again. I have a gentleman who said to me that he is moving to Canada with his family because of the sessions that we had. And he knows that the career path that he's following has not worked, and he's made a 180-degree turn. I have another gentleman who called me about a week ago and said that because of the session that we had, him and his wife are moving to Durban. He's in a brand new career. So it's not only career-wise, but it's also a lady who came to see me, for example, was in a relationship that wasn't good for her. And she said it had changed the way that she sees relationships.
What problem do people not even realize that they have until they've seen you?
They tolerate situations in their life that they shouldn't be in. They tolerate things about themselves that they shouldn't. They live with a little bit of an unease, dis-ease within, meaning feeling uncomfortable. That shouldn't have to be there.
Now, a client comes to you, they walk away happy. What is it that you want them to say to their friends to tell them what you do?
I would like somebody to tell their friend what had happened to them, what they experienced, whether it is if they got clarity, if they have a clearer mind on decisions that they want to make, but that it is not like therapy, it is not something that is necessarily conventional, that be prepared to go deep and find the right answers for yourself.
Now, there must be one client that had a fantastic outcome, better than expected.
There was a gentleman who came to me, who actually didn't come to me. I noticed that he was not feeling 100% about everything that's on his plate. how he should be, how I normally know him. I've known him for about 35 years. So friendship is different, but I knew. And him and his wife had been together and on and off, on and off. And then I said, why don't you just come and do a session with me? Which he did. And at the ripe age of 69, he said, well, actually, is it okay? He's going to leave her because he's gay. And the reason that's such a beautiful story, he decided to be himself. And he wouldn't have done that if we didn't have the session. We've spoken on the phone since, over and over and over. And so I think that's quite special.
What would happen to a client who tried to solve their problems without your help?
I suppose a client can solve their problem without my help, of course. But I don't think they would go to the depth of what we do. If they were to do it by themselves, you can solve most problems yourself. But what we do together is there's enough space and somebody that can hear you. So if you have someone who can hear you, you can go deeper, you can get to the correct answer, because if you do it yourself, you might have the filters that you have, and that's biased, not objective enough.
So you give an objectivity lens to a client so that they can see their problems more clearly and see the solutions more clearly.
Probably objectivity lens, yeah. And with lots of angles, and there's no judgment ever. Everything is valid. Everything that you think and feel is valid. And all of it gets put on the table equally.
So talk to me about the benefits of what you do. What changes for a client after working with you?
I'd say definitely a sense of peace, a sense of acceptance. People accept things about themselves easier, much quicker. Let go of things that normally they couldn't let go of.
And what would a client say to you that would indicate to you that you got this right?
There's always, I've yet to find it that it doesn't happen. There's an aha moment, and I can see it. So we spend 2 full days together with a week in between. On the second day, usually, there would be an aha moment for a person. They would literally go, oh. And then that indicates that that's the saturation point. I know that the light has gone on.
If a happy client was describing you to a friend, what would you want them to say?
Them to explain to their friend that they haven't felt like this in a long time, for the longest time. That they are feeling light, clear, happy, ready to make a decision, and probably with a deep sense of acceptance of either self or the situation or whatever.
Let's go back to that story we started with. What happened next?
So this lady was held by her parents and family in this status position, and she was, as I mentioned, super unhappy. So we spent enough time with enough questions that she started unraveling in such a way that all her dreams came out about what she really wants to do. It ended up to be that she had, over a period of time, a week, 2 weeks, that she decided she's going to have to speak to her family. She doesn't want to do what she's doing. All of the hundreds of thousands of rands spent in studying and her status job and position, she doesn't want to do that. And she needed to go and speak to her husband, speak to her family, and make a decision about what she's going to do, which she did. But she contacted me every night around about 9, 10. She would text me and say, I can't. I said, it's fine, hang in there. She kept contact with me. And when she was ready, she spoke to her husband. He was upset in the beginning, but he was okay. In the end, she resigned her high-profile position and she applied for a student guidance position at a university because that's what she wants to do. And that's what she's doing.
Is this a typical kind of outcome for your clients, or is this an unusual story?
No, it's typical. That's typical. There are usually big changes.
So what does a story like that remind you of about why you do this work?
It reminds me that every person needs the opportunity to be listened to. Every person deserves an opportunity to be deeply listened to for a long enough period, especially if things are not 100% for them. Whether it be in their work, in their relationship, doesn't matter. But if you have someone who can deeply listen to you and understand and hear what you say, take that opportunity, because life is really short.
And before life ends, how do people contact you so they can make those changes? How do they get hold of you online?
So I have a website, www.centerforthemind.life. Alternatively, my email address, niccidevet@gmail.com.
So when people go to your website, is there something specific you want them to do there?
Yes, there's a form that they can fill in.
Mm-hmm.
And I will get in touch with them straight away. Probably best is a WhatsApp. Then I respond immediately.
Well, then you better give that number.
The number is 0799961569.
And if there's any last piece of advice you want to give to our viewer or our listener, what is that advice?
Please do what makes you happy. It's as simple as that. Do what makes you happy.
And that is exactly why stories like this need to be told. Thank you so much for being so open about your journey today. If what you heard today resonated with you and you want to find out more about the business we discussed today, every guest we've ever had on Meet My Business, their business name, episode number and direct link lives in one place. Head over to baird.media/meetmybusiness.